Hey, what's up, guys? Another video on the clone today. So far, what I've done is you're around last time when I put that 28 millimeter carburetor on there. I can't remember what it's called. I'll post it right there. Anyway, I got some jets for it, and I went all the way up to 118, and I goosed it, and it was bogging down, so I could tell it was way too rich. So then I started working my way back down, and currently it has a 108 in it, and still got that problem where when you're just cruising along, not giving it gas, just cruising, the um, engine, it'll start sounding like it's really smooth, and you'll stop hearing the air coming in the air filter. And then when you go to accelerate, it's just got nothing, and you got to goose it to get things going again. And I believe all that has to do with because we've got a 26 millimeter carburetor on there, and then this itty bitty exhaust pipe, as well as the catalytic converter in there. So I think that once we get it breathing easier, that problem will go away. Oh, some other stuff about the stock carburetor on it. As you can see right there, I mentioned this in the comments on the other video where they buzzed that off. It was I'm not sure how you spell it, say it, Klein, whatever. But yeah, it's reminiscent of the Jap rifles from World War II, where they would destroy the mums on them. So obviously a counterfeit carburetor that somebody made them take that off. I decided to go in here and check out the jet. I think it's an 85 in here. Another interesting thing about this carburetor is these bolts. You can see the center right there doesn't have a screwdriver head, flathead, or Phillips, but you can see where the post broke off. So these are actually designed. It's probably got a Phillips or flathead on it to begin with, and then as they're torqued down, the heads just snap off, so it's kind of tamper proof and would give you a pretty consistent torque. While we're talking about torque, on the other bike, I want to get in and look at the rocker arms. I can't find a breakdown on this particular engine, so if somebody could help me out in the comments section below, if I take this cover off, I think I can get in there to see if anything's loose. Hey, Charlie. And I just don't know the torque setting for these, because I'm assuming that they hold the jug and everything on. If somebody knows that info, please put it in the comments below. All right, well, I'm going to show you what we're going to do as far as a remedy on uncorking this thing. This is a 28 millimeter pipe, so I think that should do us just right with our 26 millimeter carburetor. This is what I think a TurdPro, that's what we're going to call it anyway. Here's the box that came with it. Yeah, TurdPro. So, yeah, with the jet in there at 108, it still has that issue where you're cruising along. It's not really as bad, and I could run the jet all the way up to 115, but bringing it back down to 108 kind of lessened it, pretty much lessened it, but it's still not where I want it. Now, if you floored it, the thing would just scoot like nobody's business. But I want to be able to cruise. Now, when I got this, they were very, very generous with the weld on this fitting. So I tried to get a good shot of it. So I painted it black on the inside of just everything that I had to grind away. Don't know how well that worked out. Anyway, here is a picture of what it looked like before. So as you can see, that is probably going to make a little bit of a difference. Now, here is the muffler, and I'm not sure exactly what scooter this thing was designed for, but it's got this on there, and I'm assuming that this rubber bumper goes onto it to keep it from bumping into the frame. However, since my pipe is on the right side of the bike, to have that towards the frame, not sticking out like so, that's going to put this thing up in the air to for I don't know, it'll probably be pretty annoying as far as the noise, and rain can just fall right in it. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put it on like this and just see how it does. And maybe later I'll come through and buzz these off. By the way, I used what I call a die grinder. It's an air powered grinder to get in there and smooth all that out. It worked really well. Anyway, I'll probably buzz these off and just turn that around. Now, this muffler, I got it off of eBay. Uh, there's a bunch of them on there, the same thing. And this pipe goes with several different mufflers. This was just the cheapest thing I could find. Yeah, there's nothing really to give us a good seal right here. So I think what I'm going to do is, it came with two of these crush washers, gaskets, whatever you want to call them. I don't think I'm going to be putting one of those in here. I don't think I can anyway. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap some aluminum foil around here and have it maybe just barely overlapping there. That way when I plug it in there, it'll give me a little bit better seal for the hose clamp. So let's get that on the bike and see how it looks. Alrighty. You might be wondering why I'm in my kitchen. It's because it's comfortable in here. I just got the exhaust off, and let's see. Whoop. It's really hard to pick up that black on camera, but this thing is pretty doggone choked out by the weld on that fitting also. Let's see how much this thing weighs. Alright, we are at about 6¼ pounds for the stock muffler. And to get a weight on the TurdPro and all of the mounting hardware, we have just under 4 pounds. Real quick, while we're talking about weight, these shocks are extremely stiff. I'm about 180 pounds, and these things do not flex with me on here. They would probably be better. Yeah, and they're on the lowest position for the most amount of give. These shocks would be suited for somebody on the order of around 400 pounds, I imagine. 300 to 400 pounds. And yeah, the bike would pull somebody that big, I'm sure of it. But definitely getting some new shocks, because those things, it's just like having a solid welded rear end on there. And don't forget to pull your old crush washer out of there. Even the inner diameter of that is smaller than the new one. I'm going to be borrowing this one from OG Maggi. Now when he did this, he used the bracket down here from the stock setup. They used to sit something like that on the inside of the muffler, and he moved it up here on here, and I was hoping that that would just slide right on there, but I'm gonna have to file it down just a little bit to get it to work. And then once that's on there, I can have that on there however I want, and the pipe will come out like so. Alrighty, got that done. It's a good thing that this is not a real Honda, because for this part, I would have still been sitting here debating on whether or not to take a chainsaw file to this particular part. Here we have the aluminum foil around the end of the pipe. So when the muffler goes on, you'll be able to slide over this. And then if this is restricting it at all, this, could get blown, flat out of the way. That's the idea anyway. Alright, I got it on, and I wouldn't say it's 100% terrible. This part, it was really loose, so I had to really build up the foil and bring it almost all the way out to here to get that to snug on there, because I remember when they used to make decent hose clamps, but they're so hard to find anymore. I haven't seen any in years, but it didn't have the strength to really clamp down on that. Anyway, I got it on there. As far as the location of this, that's where it is. Yeah, it wouldn't clear over there, so it's pretty much useless on this. But that's the angle of the exhaust, which I don't think will be absolutely terrible. Well, let's take it outside and fire it up and see what it sounds like. Yeah, it's definitely different. I think that's perfect for the neighbors. Yeah, so now I'm gonna have to rejet it, probably. We'll see how it does with that. Right now it's got the 108 in there. But yeah, OG Maggi, he was running a 120, and he said basically the same setup, different exhaust. He said that was doing really well for him, so we'll just have to see how this does. Later.